Hello everyone. The title of today's presentation is Enhancing Underwater Sensor Network Security with Coordinated Communications. My name is Zheng Peng from the City College of New York. We'll start by introducing background and motivations. Then we'll describe the proposed protocol in details, including the workflow, scheduling algorithm, the power control, and the node selection algorithms. After that, we'll present the simulation result, followed by conclusions. The underwater sensor network is a network of distributed and autonomous underwater systems. In the past decade, it has emerged as a powerful tool to understand, explore, and utilize the planet's oceans. It is well known that the electrical magnetic waves do not work well in the sea. To cover the vast ocean, as well as achieving a good balance between the range and data rate, acoustic waves has been widely used for wireless communications under the water. However, acoustic communications is known for long propagation delay, low data rate, and high energy consumption. In addition, due to the slow underwater data rate and the long propagation delay, it becomes easier to catch and eavesdrop on underwater wireless transmissions. So the question is, how to enable secure underwater wireless communications for USNs with limited computational and energy capacity? Well, the traditional solution is to employ cryptography, which require powerful hardware and can be energy hungry. In USNs, most underwater networks nodes are battery powered. Replacing the batteries could be a logistic nightmare, and in some cases, not even possible. In this paper, we propose a protocol called Coordinated Secure Communication, or CSC, for secure transmissions in distributed USNs. The target application is uplink sensor data collection. We have a surface buoy as a base station, and they are distributed underwater sensors with acoustic modems for transmissions. The basic idea of CSC is to use the base station to coordinate the transmissions of the underwater sensor nodes. It does not require cryptography or antenna arrays, so it's more affordable and feasible to the underwater sensor networks. In addition, instead of having a friendly helper transmitting dedicated jamming signals, as in traditional co-MPs, we use actual data packets for the purpose. Therefore, no energy is wasted on jamming. Each sensor node controls its own transmission power to save power, as well as guaranteeing a better reception. A scheduling algorithm is used to make sure the packets do not collide at the intended receiver. Further, a selection algorithm is designed to find the best helper for this purpose. Next, we'll look at how those key ideas can be achieved in CSC. First, let's describe how CSC works in general. It has 3 cycles, namely a channel contention cycle, a traffic arrangement cycle, and a data transmission cycle. When in the channel contention cycle, each node with sensor data to transmit needs to send a channel contention or CC message to the base station. Next is the traffic arrangement cycle. The surface buoy uses the information collected from the previous cycle to pair sensor nodes for coordinated communications. The objective is to generate the best protection for the upcoming transmissions. We'll explain how to do this later. The next step is package scheduling. The purpose can be demonstrated in this figure. Through careful scheduling, the data packet will not collide at the intended receiver, while on the other hand, at other locations, the same data packets can create collisions. Note that in this work, we only consider one helper, We plan to study the scheduling of multiple helpers in our future work. In this paper, data transmissions happen in pairs. Within a pair, the node transmit first is called a primary sender, or PS. The node transmit later is called a helper sender, or HS. The scheduling is done by the base station. Once the coordinated communication nodes are determined and the transmission schedule is finalized, the surface buoy broadcasts a CS message to notify the senders. Then, in the data transmission cycle, the sensor nodes follow the schedule determined by the base station. Note that multiple data packets can be transmitted within the data communication cycle. After this cycle, the network goes back to the channel contention cycle again. So this is how CSC operates. Next, we'll look at the power control. The diagram on the right represents the basic idea of coordinated multi-point communication, or CoMP. We don't have to go through the details. Just know that we can use power modulation to make sure the intended receiver can receive the packets even when there's collisions. The same diagram also shows that if the eavesdropper's location is known, we can target the eavesdropper and interfere its reception. For underwater wireless communications, we adopt the underwater acoustic propagation model, as shown in here. Estimate the channel gain as well as the received signal. From this formula, we can further derive the power modulation scheme as well as the transmission scheme. So far, we described the workflow of the protocol, the transmission scheduling, and the power control. The final missing piece is the node selection. How do we pick the best helper to achieve good security with low energy consumption? That's the job of node selection. The objective is to create coordinated communication pairs for data transmission to minimize the total size of the unprotected area. Therefore, we can formulate the optimization problem as follows. Essentially, we would like to minimize the summation of Cij times Xij for all ij in V, subject to a number of constraints. These are all very straightforward. What is not so straightforward is the size of the unprotected area, Cij. So how to estimate this? Well, we'll have to study the size of this area. We define the unprotected area as the area that CSC cannot generate collisions. Assuming a two-sender scenario, the total delay can be calculated by equation 1. From equation 1, we can get the condition of the protected area, meaning that the location where collisions of two packets will occur, as in equation 3. Hence, the first unprotected area can be defined as area S, as in equation 4. This area can be created by rotating one side of hyperbola around the axis passing PS1 and PS2. There is, however, another unprotected area near the helper, in which the first packet arrives after the helper packet is processed. We denote that area as area B. It can be created by rotating one side of a different hyperbola. Holding time determines how long the helper needs to wait until it sends out the helper packet. This is critical for packet scheduling. Based on the previous analysis, the volume of the water area that is vulnerable to eavesdropping can be represented by this formula. It's essentially area S plus area B. The figure on the right provides a visual clue of the shape and size of the unprotected area in 3D. The area in blue indicate area S, the area in black indicate area B. And now we can formulate the size of the unprotected area. We can go back to the original optimization problem. Recall the problem from a previous slide. Now we know how to calculate Cij. The next step is to solve the optimization problem. Unfortunately, the optimization problem is a binary assignment problem with additional side constraints, which is NP complete. In this paper, we focus on a simplified version in which we can use an auction algorithm to solve. Here is the pseudocode of the auction algorithm. With limited time, we will only explain the algorithm at a high level. The proposed algorithm combines the coordinate descent technique and the Jacob method, leveraging the property of primal dual optimization problem, and solve this classical assignment problem while iteratively modifying the dual variable and construct primal variable. This is proved to be theoretically optimal and efficient. We evaluate the proposed algorithm in simulations. We compare the performance between three selection algorithms. The network setting is as follows. The first simulation compares the size of the vulnerable area as a result of different node selection algorithms. On the left, we show that the total size of vulnerable area, the proposed auction algorithm has the smallest vulnerable area among all. And for the greedy algorithm, it has slightly worse performance, but it is faster and simpler. The random algorithm has the worst performance. Figure 4 illustrates the normalized total vulnerable area. And again, the proposed algorithm has the best performance. In another simulation, we focus on the energy efficiency of the proposed algorithm. In Figure 5, we adjust the network density and calculate the total energy consumption. It shows that although the greedy algorithm is simple, but it consumes a lot more power than the proposed algorithm. In Figure 6, we normalized the energy consumption of the algorithms. It showed that the proposed algorithm can reduce energy consumption by 20 to 25%. Note that this algorithm achieves the performance while providing a higher level of protection than the rest of the algorithms. In conclusion, in this paper, we investigate the eavesdropping problem in underwater sensor networks, inspired by coordinated multi-point communication and to address a number of issues to let the algorithm work in the underwater environment. We propose CSC, Coordinated Secure Communication. We described the algorithm in details, and the preliminary results show that CSC can be a viable alternative when either the cryptography-based method are not applicable or the specialized hardware is not available. As for the future work, we plan to compare the proposed scheme with related work and evaluate the performance of different algorithms in various network density and topologies. We also plan to find out how many helper nodes should be used. Is there any optimal value? Also, if the number of helpers is determined, how to make the selection. And after we make the selection, how to schedule the transmissions, as different sequences can lead to different shapes and size of the secure and vulnerable areas. With that, I would like to conclude this presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe. Bye now.